What's going on, everybody? We're back, so we're going to dive right into it. There's no rhyme or reason or anything like that for our movie this week. We're going to go ahead and hit you with John Carter. Plot breakdown. Mars. Disney. Taylor Kitsch. Willem Dafoe. Horrible marketing. The good. This movie is sweet, it's heartfelt, it's innocent, it wears its heart on its sleeve. It has such an adventurous spirit. Swashbuckling is probably the better word for it. It's exciting, it is sad and somber at moments. It's a fantastic movie. We'll start with the cast. They do a fantastic job. You have Taylor Kitsch as the title character, John Carter, and he is great. He sells that drunken, depressed state and nature where he knows that there has to be something better out there for him. Knows that there's a past that he has to leave behind. But then on the flip side of that, intergalactic coin, you have him on Mars, and that the opening scene where he's learning to maneuver and learning to jump, learning that his gravity is lighter. It is such a heartwarming scene that it can't help but put a smile on your face. It's like watching Superman fly for the first time in Man of Steel. It's handled so very well. Moving on to the rest of the cast, you have a princess of Mars, played by Lynn Collins, and she does a good job. She's not the best actress in the world, but she sells the scenes. She sells her best scenes, hands down. The ones that she sells the absolute most are the scenes between her and her father, played by Kieran Hines, who is also fantastic, and he plays a fantastic fatherly role in that he wants the best for his daughter, but at the same time, he fully understands that if he does not give Dominic West, bad guy, exactly what he wants, which is her hand in marriage, that just spells doom for the rest of his people. It's one of those needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few kinds of situations. And their father-daughter scenes, the arguments back and forth, the heart-to-heart that they have back and forth, they're great. It's a lot more mature and a lot more emotional drama than you would typically expect in a Disney movie, especially one back from 2012. We have Dominic West, who is our primary bad guy, who is getting help from other bad guy, Mark Strong, who is more of an alien force, and he plays up the bad guy role so very well. He just wants power, he wants control, he wants to basically take over and be the man in charge. There's not all too many layers to him, but that's not an issue because what he does have, he works with very well. Now, everybody involved, it doesn't matter if they have a big part or a little part, like Bryan Cranston on Earth, they all do a very good job. They handle the characters well. They're all fairly written well as well. Another great thing about this movie are the visual effects. So when it comes to Mars, you don't really get much in the way of visual effects to kind of portray Mars as some otherworldly, really weird, distinct alien planet. There's a very big familiarity to it, and that, of course, is because they shot it here on planet Earth, duh. But they're shooting in places and they're adding little bits and pieces here and there that make it feel still slightly alien, a little unfamiliar. But for the visual effects, though, a lot of creatures, a lot of the vehicles, the spaceships, the weaponry, there's a lot of fantastical designs in here, and they look great. Willem Dafoe, who's playing a CGI alien via performance capture, and it is handled very well, and it looks very good. Once again, this is 2012, of course. Let's flash forward some time later, almost a whole decade, and things have honestly gotten a lot better, sure, but the movie holds up fairly well. Another great thing about this movie is the pacing. It's 132 minutes, roughly, give or take, because of the credits, but it doesn't feel slow by any means. You get a nice introduction at the beginning with how things are going on Earth. You get a nice introduction in the beginning of how things are going on Mars. Back to Earth again, then back to Mars again, and it's all handled very well. They do a lot to make sure that nothing ever feels dull, or you're not checking on that watch. Now, a personal highlight for me, which actually may be a complaint for some, are all of the action scenes, a lot of the material that they have in there that has been used as reference for various sci-fi movies and TV shows and everything like that. When he is fighting the wild bats in the arena, then of course that's going to bring super heavy flashbacks of 2002's Attack of the Clones, when Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Padme are tied up and they're having to go against the creatures and the clones fly and everything like that. Very similar style setup, very similar kind of victory. So there's definitely a lot in there that you might think, oh, well, they copied that, when in fact, it's the total opposite. That copied this just happened to come out and get made after. But I appreciate those. I appreciate seeing, this is kind of like the base point. This is where everything has been taken reference from. And now for the bad. You guys, this might be a first, but I don't have anything bad to say about this movie. I don't have a single thing. I love the acting, I love the pacing, I love the visual effects. I love how emotional this movie is. I love how honest this movie is. I love how wonderful and wondrous and adventurous this movie is. Scene where John Carter is fighting off hordes and hordes of aliens as he's having flashbacks to burying his wife and child back on Earth. Each hit that he takes, each hit that he gives is a flashback of him burying them. I mean, that's some emotionally deep stuff that you shouldn't be getting in this kind of Disney movie circa 2012, but they did it, and they didn't pull any punches, and the movie's all the better for it. However, that leads me to the one bad thing about this movie, and that's the marketing, and it's the director. Andrew Stanton, the director behind Finding Nemo. This was part of one of Disney's small little initiatives. Let's give some of our animation directors the opportunity to direct something live action, something that they wanted to do. Brad Bird got Tomorrowland, Andrew Stanton got John Carter, which was a huge pet passion project for him. Multiple interviews out there with him stating that, you know, that he's loved this character growing up, blah, 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 blah. Well, unfortunately, that was a hindrance, see, because the marketing for this movie was straight dog shit. First trailer for this movie comes out, year's 2011. What do we get? We get a really weirdly cut, weirdly somber, morose trailer of a man on Mars without a shirt on, jumping around, a lot of fantastical designs of ships and everything like that. But then the trailer is set to Peter Gabriel's cover of My Body Is a Cage. Don't get me wrong, it is a great song, and the subtext to that song and how it fits into the overall story of the movie is actually extremely, extremely clever. However, if you don't know the character, if you don't know anything about the story, if you don't know anything about what this movie is even supposed to be remotely close to about, then it's stupid. The trailer doesn't make any sense. I'll never forget seeing that trailer in theaters, and I told myself, well, this looks like just this looks terrible. What is that supposed to be? And of course, you know, I warmed up to it because, you know me, bad movies. But Andrew Stanton made sure that that was the trailer that got put out. He wanted people to admire this and wanted to admire the mystery of what this is. Unfortunately, this isn't the kind of property that you can just slap the character's name on and move on. John Carter sure as shit ain't Spider-Man. You can't title it John Carter and then move on, and then at the end of the movie give a still kind of whack, but at least better than what we got title of John Carter of Mars. Andrew Stanton's reasoning behind this? That's because he hasn't earned the title John Carter of Mars yet, so why is that going to be the title of the movie? We'll have it at the end. If you watch that, you would think, oh, okay, so John Carter, is he the production assistant? Is he the guy that scrubs Taylor Kitsch's toilet in between takes? It's stupid. It's a terrible title. What has happened, you know, the movie came out, it tanked, didn't make nearly as much as it should have, never getting a sequel. We're left with a cliffhanger, but not a terrible one, but still enough to make you hurt and make you yearn for a sequel. Which, of course, Andrew Stanton decided to take upon himself to reveal the titles of the next two that he was going to do in his planned trilogy, and it only pushes that knife into that salted wound even deeper. That is my recommendation to you. It is John Carter. Check it out on Disney+. I beg of you. This movie is fantastic. It is exciting. It is fun. Taylor Kitsch can actually act, I promise, because he does it in this movie so very well. If you've seen John Carter, let me know down in the comments below. If you love this movie as much as I do, please let me know down in the comments below. I have nothing bad to say about this. It's all directed towards Disney, mostly Andrew Stanton, but Disney for not standing up to him, because now we're never getting a sequel. Until next time, this has been VHS Tacos giving you another fantastic movie recommendation that you probably have never heard of. Signing off. We will see you guys on the next go-around. Adios.